Good morning and welcome to the Senior Hour, which is sponsored by Comfort Keepers in Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host,
Dr. Jean Dorio.
on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. This is a show for, about, and by seniors, giving information to enhance one's quality of life. And speaking of quality of life, we have our guests this morning is Mina Kanji and Johann Duloc from Renew Med Therapy Center.
Hello.
How are you? It's good to see you again.
Good morning.
Doing great.
It's
Thank
been a
you.
month, has it?
Welcome.
Has been a month.
Where does time go? It disappears.
Your guess is as good as mine.
It absolutely
Welcome, you guys.
disappears. Wow.
But since we last had you guys on, the weather has dramatically changed for us. And most people will say for the better or seasonally, and which is fun. But, the problems that our seniors face, the fear of, the pandemic and fear of being hospitalized and, having their usual problems leads to a lot of problems after they get out of the hospital. And, I think that, getting rehab and therapy is critical for our seniors. So explain to our listeners what you guys are about, where you come from, and what you offer to our seniors.
So we are a comprehensive outpatient rehab facility. We specialize in physical therapy, occupational therapy, and outpatient pulmonary rehabilitation. Really, that's our bread and butter. What we really like to focus on is the pulmonary rehabilitation side. We think there's a giant need, as we've said before, something like 62 million diagnoses nationwide, 16 million deaths. A lot of the times, people don't even know that this is a service that their community offers. We still see that down in Los Angeles in our other facilities that have been there for 12, 13 years. Still, we get patients walking in saying, oh my gosh, we never heard of you. Our doctors didn't know about you. So really, our main focus coming on here is to make people aware of this huge benefit to them, to their hospitals, to their doctors, to their communities. That's what we're really trying to get the word out is.
Well, explain exactly what that is.
So pulmonary rehabilitation, people don't really know what it is, but if they have any pulmonary disease, so any lung disease, typically they have experience shortness of breath, their energy levels are low, performing activities of daily living like walking, going up the stairs, playing with their grandkids, flying to Disneyland like you're going to be doing.
Right.
It is impossible for them to actually have a life outside of their four corners of their house. So pulmonary rehab is a vehicle. It's a multidisciplinary approach to therapy, pretty much head-to-toe approach. Patients work with breathing techniques, improving their strength, their stamina, their endurance. They're taught how to perform their activities of daily living by coordinating their breathing techniques when they're walking, coordinating their breathing techniques when they're going to the bathroom, picking up their groceries, and eventually by the 3 to 4 month program, they work with physical therapists, respiratory therapists, and occupational therapists. By the time the 3 to 4 months are over, it's about a 95% success rate, and patients are able to improve their quality of life.
So they're more back to normal.
And the biggest
Right.
thing is that what makes the treatment special is that the physical therapist and the respiratory therapist work with the patient at the same time. So what we notice in a lot of these patients is there's two major factors contributing to them not having the quality of life that they would like. Number one, decrease in overall strength, just your general muscular strength, and a huge increase in anxiety. So the anxiety coupled with the decrease in strength is what generally keeps people in their houses afraid to come out. They're afraid that they're going to have another exacerbation. If I ever lose my breath again, what's going to happen? How am I going to breathe? So these are the types of things our physical therapist is generally working on getting them stronger. And our respiratory therapist is getting them to understand their condition, what that entails, their medications, how to breathe, what's actually going on within their lungs. And when we start combining those two things, they get stronger and they actually understand what's happening. So their
But
anxiety.
you all,
Go ahead, doctor.
yeah, that's it. That's it. That's anxiety and the fear that one has when they've come out of the hospital that they're going to end up back in the hospital.
Well,
But
absolutely.
by allaying the fears and giving them the right treatments, by being hands-on, it makes a huge difference. And in the past, I would go visit patients post hospitalization, and they wouldn't know where they were going, what they were doing, how they were going to handle it. But having this rehab is so significant because many of our seniors end up in the hospital with some kind of breathing problem. And if they don't have this rehab, they're kind of left to that fear again and
100%.
being readmitted.
Exactly. The other fallout benefit from pulmonary rehab is the fact that, doctor, you're aware that 33% of our senior population over the age of 65, they fall in the United
Yes.
States. That's a huge risk to our population, that the fall risk. So the one fallout benefit from being in a pulmonary program, as Johann pointed out, that the physical therapist actually does, even though they're coming in for lung disease, they get a lot of fall prevention, gait, balance exercises because we're working on upper and lower body strengthening, with, using the physical therapist as our vehicle to do that. So that's the one fallout benefit. The other fallout benefit is patients who are anxious and suffering with pulmonary disease, they can't breathe. They're very isolated. Even though they may be with their family really doesn't understand why they can't pick up a grocery bag or why can't they make their own breakfast. But they really can't because they can't breathe. And having come, when they come into a system like ours, a discipline like ours, they have a good emotional support system going for them. So they talk to other patients. They find out that, oh my God, this patient was 96 years old and he is doing so well. And then they talk to each other and they learn from each other. And it's a great support system. They become friends. Some of them go to lunches and dinners together. So they really feel comfortable in an environment like ours, for therapy. So it goes beyond just clinically treating them for pulmonary rehab.
Well,
And
now,
I wonder.
do you go to patients' homes?
That we do not do.
You do not
We can go one time for assessment and evaluating what their home situation is like, but that's only one time. Sadly, there is no pulmonary rehab happening at home because that is not what the insurance companies pay for. So
that's really sad because some patients would have a hard time going out to your office and to your clinic.
Well, there's a progression, right? So if a patient is deconditioned to the point where they can't leave their house, it's best for them to go through that home health protocol, which is generally based in a physical therapy, get their strength up to where at least they can ambulate, maybe using a wheelchair or something, and we would be the next step along that continuum because we are a facility, so they do have to come to us in order to get that pulmonary treatment. But if they're that deconditioned, they almost belong at home first.
Yeah.
So let me ask you guys this. Barb and I have been active in the community and active in the county and state and, bringing forward important assistance to our seniors. But, not having the doctors having an understanding that that pulmonary rehab even exists, whether it be at home or whether you have to go in. A lot of doctors don't know about it. But because a lot of doctors don't know about it, also in addition, we're not getting the laws set so that we can give better care at home by providing respiratory treatment. So one of the things I know that Barb and I and Robin and others at the Senior Center can do is try to legislate and bring to the attention of political people that this is an important aspect of keeping people at home, keeping their anxiety down, keeping their fears down, keeping their falls down, and keeping them out of the hospital and readmissions by bringing into the home pulmonary rehab. Are you guys at some point, is that a possibility that you could because I bring physical therapists into the home. I bring occupational therapists into the home. I see no problems in bringing in a pulmonary therapist as well. Would your company, or would it be an idea for us to try to initiate that?
Well, Dr. Dory, I'll take that. And, a few years ago, a pulmonologist had actually come to our company and had told us the same exact thing that you're talking about, that it doesn't make sense to have just PT going for home therapy. And why don't you guys try? And so we did actually try. We tried hard, through Medicare, through the Department of Health Services, and we never got anywhere. So you're right. It needs, it needs a senator or congressman, someone higher up, to say there is. From what I understand, a few years ago, my pulmonologist told me there's about 35% of COPDers who cannot move. They are at home, locked in the house. Okay, so that means they keep going to the hospital. They come home, they get sick, they go back to the hospital, costing our society a lot of healthcare costs, right? So, yes, if there is anybody who can go to a legislative, has got any kind of legislative power, we would be happy to, come up with a plan to go home.
I'll make the picket signs.
There we go.
Well,
Gene and I will carry him. We've done it before, haven't we, Gene?
We certainly have. But, a thing that we do is Robin and I belong to the California Senior Legislature, which is an offshoot of the California Legislature, and we bring laws to the state Senate, the Assembly, and the Senate. So we are actively doing that, and we put together, our group put together 29 laws, but we're bringing 10 of them in January and February to the doorstep of the legislators. So when you say there ought to be a law, and that's what we're saying right now, we can help you with that. So let's get together on this, and those who are listening as well, anybody want to be involved in doing something like that, just contact us, because Barb and I and Robin and quite a few other people in Santa Clarita have learned how to do this and to put laws out there that are worthy and will take care of older adults in our community. So I'm not throwing in the towel on this one. We know how to do this now. And something, we might need picket signs. that is a possibility. But
well, Gene, we know how to carry them, don't we?
And we have a volunteer.
Yeah.
Have two volunteers.
As long as the weather stays cool, I'm with you.
So other than the legislative, in the meanwhile, we still have a huge population, as Johann first mentioned, a huge population of people who don't see a pulmonologist. They might just go to an internist. Usually, pulmonologists would know about pulmonary rehab, but internists really have no idea that it exists.
No idea.
And it used to be once upon a time, 20 years ago, when the hospitals offered these programs, so it was easy. But the hospitals don't offer this anymore. So that is where we have this void. So anyone in the community listening, if there's anyone who needs pulmonary rehab or PT or OT, then Renew Med in Santa Clarita can help. And we have other locations. So if they're out of this area, then we can help them with the other locations. We pretty much are all over the San Fernando Valley.
And let me mention to you, I did a house call about a week ago, and the gentleman had gone in for surgery, which was successful. He comes out, and he has what seemingly was a bronchitis, but, he ended up developing into a pneumonia. So I had to order all the pulmonary treatments for him. I had to get the nebulizer, the incentive spirometer. I got a hospital bed so he can sit up. But, if we had pulmonary rehab there, it would have made it a lot easier. We've kept him out of the hospital, so I know that is possible. But I want the professionals there. I want people that know how to do this and can do it, snap their fingers, and, will be an extension of what I know needs to be done. So you guys, we need to be doing this. And, we've always, Barb, haven't we always been kind of the spark in Santa Clarita in doing things that are out there, outside the box?
Yes.
So I think, this is something that our seniors can take up, maybe through the senior center, I don't know, but something that we can take up that will help keep people out of the hospital, but will help ensure their quality of life is better.
That would be
And-
great. And let's California be the first state to start.
And why Medicare does not take care of that is beyond me. Because
they don't know,
most
Barb.
seniors are the recipients of these pulmonary problems.
Yeah, and it's a little counterintuitive. If they
Yeah.
really kind of leaned into this, they'd be saving the trust quite a bit of money.
Oh my goodness.
Yep.
They really
Absolutely.
would.
Yeah.
But,
Correct, Johann.
that's where some of these politicians come in. It's, it's all me,
Yeah.
and nobody else.
But Barb, we've been, I think our politicians are still serving us well. Yes, sometimes they have other ways of doing things, but it's okay that we have a role and we can leverage. So I'm not worried, and we vote, by the way. So I'm not worried about getting them into this by giving them education and understanding of the benefits.
Well, I'm not so much concerned about our local politicians. It's the ones way far away that
Yeah, and
don't
I think
care.
I think it's a great idea to have the respiratory therapists going to the home. I think that's going to be a heck of a mountain to
Oh, my
climb. And while
goodness.
the mountain is being climbed, I do think it's in our interest not to let perfect get in the way of good, and really try to attack those people that we can get. If it's 35% of people that can stay
Right.
home, that means 65% of people can come to the facility.
absolutely.
So to me, it's about significance. If I can get 65%, it's not 100, but it's better than 0.
Oh, absolutely.
Very good.
And it's better than 33%
Right.
too. Oh my goodness, yes. Well, I think we need to take a little break. We'll be back in a few moments. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the Newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The Newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The Newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
This is Jill from the Santa Clarita Grocery, the all-volunteer grocery program serving children, families, and individuals experiencing food insecurities. Since January 2020, Santa Clarita Grocery has distributed 83 tons of fresh groceries to our 4,655 families in the SCV community. Santa Clarita Grocery is a drive-up, drive-through service with physical distancing in place to continue serving our community. If you are in need or looking for a charity to do the most good for our community, please consider partnering with us by donating to Santa Clarita Grocery, one of the most efficient charities in the Santa Clarita Valley. A full 99 cents out of every dollar goes directly back to the community. Santa Clarita Grocery operates on a 1% overhead and is sustained through private donations. Santa Clarita Grocery is at 21176 Center Point Parkway in the Oasis Furniture parking lot. Please visit our website at santaclaritagrocery.org or our Facebook at Santa Clarita Grocery to make a difference in our awesome town community. 425-7575. Be our guest and experience the difference.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
This holiday music is brought to you by Providence Holy Cross Medical Center, your community health partner. To learn more about our award-winning care, call 1-888-HEALING or visit us on the web at providence.org.
Healthcare can be difficult if you're underinsured or have Medi-Cal. Samuel Dixon Family Health Center can help. Services are available on a sliding fee schedule. The mission of the Samuel Dixon Family Health Center is to give the Santa Clarita Valley access to affordable, quality primary care. There are 3 locations to serve you: Canyon Country, Newhall, and Valverde. Go to sdfhc.org for more information and to find the location most convenient for you.
Hi, I'm Tamara Gurney, President of Mission Valley Bank, Santa Clarita Valley's local community business bank. It's been a challenging 18 months, and as we approach the holidays, our bank is pleased to bring you some holiday music in the hopes of uplifting your spirits and spreading some joy during this season. I'd also like to invite you to visit us at our branch located at 26701 McBean Parkway, across from the Town Center, to meet our amazing team. And on behalf of our entire Mission Valley Bank team, we wish you a very happy and healthy holiday season.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we want to say thank you and goodbye to Mina and Johann of Renew Med Therapy Center.
Thanks for having us.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. And very quickly, give us your telephone number and your address.
The phone number is that's the old phone number, 661-425-7622, 661-425-7622, and the address is 24355 Lyons Avenue, Suite 216.
Wonderful. Thank you so
Thank
much
you,
for
guys.
joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And we'll
so
see
much.
you next time.
Yes.
We will indeed.
Okie dokie.
Happy
Happy
holidays to
holidays,
everyone.
Yes, yes,
You too,
yes.
thanks.
And now our guest is the one and only Comfort Keepers in-home care owner, Miles McNamara.
Howdy, y'all. How are you?
How are you?
Doing
I heard a
well,
drum
doing
roll.
well.
That's great, Miles. Well,
It's a kind intro.
Miles, we had, our previous guests go to, we're hoping to get them to go to our senior homes and to give pulmonary treatment, but you already do that. And aging in place is key for all of us, not going to nursing homes, sustaining ourselves in our home. This is what we all want to do as we age in this community. But you have been doing this for years now, home care. And I think it's important for the public to understand this is being provided right now. We don't have to legislate any laws or picket anyone. This is happening. So I want to make sure that our listeners understand your role for 20 years now, isn't it, Miles, that we've known each other?
Yep.
What your role has been and continues to be in Santa Clarita and how we can continue enhancing the lives of our seniors.
Sure, and not like your prior guests are pulmonary experts. We're home care, so we're non-medical. We don't do what they do, but we do the activities of daily living, assisting our seniors to age in place in their own homes. So that means anything they need with, if they need help in and out of the shower, bathing, showering, make sure that they're eating nutritional meals, taking their medications on time. Standby assist is huge so they don't slip and fall, break a hip, have head trauma, et cetera. So, yeah, Comfort Keepers has been doing this. This is our 20th year anniversary here in Santa Clarita. I just celebrated my 9th year in my Encino office. So, so again, it's the aging in place plan. And your prior guests also talked about the whole out of the hospital, back into the hospital, out of the hospital, readmitted back to that. So that's what's one of the many things that we assist with is the transition when folks come home from the hospital, because that's a tough transition sometimes. They go from 24-hour care, day is night, night is day, they're being monitored, checked on, and then all of a sudden they're discharged to home. And if they don't have a family support structure or somebody to help them acquiesce themselves into the home, and stop that readmission. Once we're discharged from the hospital, we don't want to get bounced back in there. And a lot of the reasons that happens is the medications aren't taken on time, a plethora of reasons that you see all the time yourself, Dr. Dorio, that causes our seniors to be readmitted into the hospital days after they were discharged.
Yeah. And, that, as we talked about in the first part of the hour, there's fear, there's anxiety. And once someone starts to feel bad or does not feel up to par like they did in the hospital, they're starting to think, I'm going back to the hospital, and they don't want that. And the comfort keepers, I think sometimes, I'll call them miracles because they have kept my patients out of the hospital post-hospitalization. And I think that's a critically important aspect of trying to age in place, because you start to lose confidence. You start to feel comfortable with you start to feel uncomfortable with, what's going on. You want to stay at home, though. And that Comfort Keepers allows that to happen. So tell me when we talk about assessment, Miles, when someone comes back is returning from the hospital into their home, what are the things that Comfort Keepers does that will do to help assess and figure out what their needs are?
Yeah, and especially if they're coming out of the hospital, my care managers, even though we're non-medical, all my care managers are LVN and nurses and such, is we have a great communication with the hospital. So before a patient's discharged, my care manager will huddle with the discharge planner, the case worker, and most of the time with the doctor, because we have HIPAA releases and such, so that we can get almost the care plan handed to us by the case manager and or the doctor, so we know what to highlight when they come home. So that kind of differs than when we come in, when a family member or a senior themselves calls us and wants to implement our service. Has a bit of a different flavor than when they're coming home from the hospital, because we have that assistance and the insight from the folks I just talked about, the caseworker, the discharge planner, the doctor. So, and we always, obviously coming home from the hospital, there's been an episode, there's been an event that caused that hospitalization. We try to educate folks in that we can be reactive. We can be there if mom breaks the hip or grandma, breaks the, head trauma, whatever. If an event happened, a slip and fall, we can, of course, be reactive. But we try to educate folks, let us be proactive. Really assess, the situation. And if we can come in and prevent that slip and fall, if we can come in and prevent that mismanagement of meds, if we can, prevent the episode that's going to possibly hospitalize our clients and our seniors, there's two sides of that coin. Be proactive. Don't just be reactive.
Right. And, the other part, and I know, you'll say you're not the health part of it, but you do play a role constructively in determining how the setup is for the home environment. And what your agency has done, Miles, is especially important in terms of their medication. You don't decide what medications they take and what they don't take. That's not your duty. But you organize it to make sure they're taking it correctly, that it's out in front of them. I have gone to places where I will tell you, total confusion as to what to take and what not to take. And I have been alerted by your staff to say, hey, there's a problem here with how their confusion, how they're supposed to take their medication. That's important to me. And that helps me keep patients in their homes, like with what you guys are doing to inform me. You guys have been an extension of what I can do. But if it weren't for you, I tell you, some of my patients for sure would have been right back in the hospital. So medication plays a big role. The slip and falls, or the moving furniture out of the way, getting grab bars, all of that you guys advise us on. And I think that kind of assessment is critically important for our patients.
Absolutely, and you hit the nail on the head. Medication mismanagement is at the top of the list, not only for readmission but for hospitalizations a lot of times too. If they're taking, maybe the doctor prescribes a new medication, but they were supposed to stop taking the prior medication and they didn't, And again, especially coming from the hospital environment where you are looked after constantly. You're told when to eat, sleep, take your meds, everything. And now all of a sudden you're in the home environment where that support system is no longer there. So, yeah, taking the medications, and again, has there been a whole slew of new medications prescribed while they're in the hospital, which does away with the medications they have currently in their medicine cabinet at home. There needs to be organizations. So we work very hand in hand with the home health agencies, with the doctors like yourself, because as you said, we don't dictate what's taken when or what dosage, but once we're given that manual and we're given the schedule, then we can make sure it's adhered to.
Well, one of the biggest situations that I had with Russ, other than medication, I was able to do all of the medication, and the home care provider didn't have to work with that. But my biggest problem was getting him in and out of bathing situations. That was a critical problem. I mean, he bought me for my birthday a walk-in tub, but still somebody needed to be there to help him in and out, to help him dry off, and that's where the home care provider really, really helped me out. That was critical.
Yeah,
and helping him walk.
Exactly.
And move around.
A lot of times our folks don't know what they don't know, or another cliche, you can't see the forest for the trees. And that's part of what we do, and you alluded to it earlier, Dr. Dorio, is when we do our first initial assessment, it's not just for our prospective client, but it's also the environment. I mean, are there throw rugs that are a trip hazard to our seniors on walkers or just walking about regularly? Are there grab bars everywhere a grab bar would be useful? And not just in the bathroom. You might find one useful in a particular place in the kitchen, which ranks high. Bathroom and kitchen are the two leading causes of slip and fall. So you can put a hand bar anywhere where it's going to come in useful. And are there extension cords about? Are there, so we do that safety inspection of the entire home environment before we start a case. And sometimes, like I said, you don't see the forest for the trees, and you don't realize that throw rugs, a simple throw rug, is a huge enemy to our seniors.
Absolutely. And you know what I did in both of my bathrooms? I put that gray tape underneath all four sides of those rugs that went into the bathroom. So, and I even have it now because I have some throw rugs that don't have the adhesive on the bottom. I put it on there, that gray tape, that duct tape. Right. That's what it is. I put that on all four sides of the rug. So when I go into that bathroom, especially at night, I can be assured that I'm not going to slip on that slippery floor carpet throw rug.
And as we look at the game plan going forward, you have to sort of anticipate changes. If when our seniors go from a walking to a cane to even a walker, you have to think of things like the changes in flooring. Do you go from hardwood to carpet? Is there a large threshold in the doorway that you have to navigate? Even tile floors. If you're on a walker now maybe the tile grout is too wide, and your wheels get stuck in that tile grout, and that's going to cause a slip and fall. So there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration when we change our environment for our seniors to make it more safe.
And caregivers are listening to our program right now and going, "I didn't think of that. I didn't think of that." And fall risks are really high, but who would think a hassock or a throw rug would be a danger to our seniors? Other things that I know that Comfort Keepers does is they watch the nutrition and hydration of my patients. They sometimes weigh them and give me a weight and tell me if they're losing weight. But they check the refrigerator. They make sure the meals are there for them. And that's a huge asset to me as a physician, gaining that information so I know that the senior is doing okay at home.
You're right, and we talked about it last month with Thanksgiving coming up, and now we have Christmas coming upon us. And this is the time of year that, adult kids and we see each other physically instead of just checking in on the phone and saying hello, is to take a real good look around the home when you're with your aging loved ones. And are the things starting to progress so that we change and adapt the things that we've just talked about? How does mom and dad look since you last saw them? Have they lost weight? How's their hygiene? Look at the floors and the throw rugs and the changing of floor surface. Is that a trip hazard? So these are all things that we need to assess, when we see our loved ones maybe once or twice a year, because the rest of the year we're just talking on the phone and kind of checking in verbally.
Yeah. And tell me, Miles, about, not only that part, but that psychologic part that you guys assess, the loneliness part, especially with this pandemic. How do you guys assess that part, the psychologic side, and be in contact with doctors as well as the family?
Well, and it's funny because, not funny, it's ironic in that if you go to our website or even our brochure, one of the bullet points that are so undersold is companionship. Our caregivers, our comfort keepers, as we call them, they talk about having a multitude of grandparents, multiple sets of grandparents, because they go to many, different clients, maybe through the course of a week. But loneliness is huge. So just, them connecting, and that's what we tell our comfort keepers is you are the bright light in the day that, they're, to get rid of that loneliness, to have someone to talk to. And then all the other stuff just happens while we're doing that. We can make the meals, we can make sure they're taking their meds, but that companionship, especially like you said, during the pandemic and the isolation and the depression, it's huge. So companionship is on our website, it's on our brochure, but it is so undervalued when you're assessing what the needs might be.
Absolutely. Yep.
And as I said too, this is the time of year to really kind of assess, what's happened since the last time. Some of us are fortunate enough to see our parents more often, but to make that plan, what does aging in place look like in your parents' eyes or in our seniors' eyes? They may have, there's something that's called the golden rule: treat someone as you would like to be treated, but that's superseded by the platinum rule, which is treat someone how they want to be treated. Just because you want to be treated some way doesn't necessarily mean that's how they want to be treated. So I always go to the platinum rule. Treat others as they want to be treated, because you may have this aging in place plan for your parents, and that's not on their radar. Maybe they want to go to an assisted living. Maybe they want to stay in their own home. But you have to have that talk. You have to discuss the roadmap. What does it look like, and what do they want? Not what you want. What would they like to have?
And that is critically important. It really is.
Yep.
It's critically important. And
I don't. Go ahead.
I think we need to take a short break.
Yes, I thought.
I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS.
Santa Clarita now has its first respiratory treatment center, RenewMed. Whether you've got COPD, COVID complications, asthma, or emphysema, you no longer have to drive out of our valley for treatment. RenewMed is a comprehensive outpatient rehab facility. Along with respiratory treatment, RenewMed's multidisciplinary team includes physicians, respiratory, physical, occupational therapists, and social service professionals. Experience a new kind of therapy. RenewMed on Lyons Avenue, just north of the 5. Visit RenewMedSCV.com. That's RenewMedSCV.com.
Aloha, friends. Go check out Honu Coffee, home of the best cold brew coffee. What makes their coffee special is how their organic coffee beans are infused with nitrogen to create a smooth and delicious cup of coffee. You'll also find traditional bold coffees and island-inspired signature drinks. They're the perfect place to catch up with friends or just relax with your favorite cup of joe. Honu Coffee on Lyons and Walnut in Newhall. Stop by and say aloha.
And now for your convenience, a second Honu location at 23502 Lyons Avenue between Peachland and Apple.
If you're in need of physical therapy, check out Focus Physical Therapy. Owner and therapist Adam Laraway has the latest in cutting-edge technology, introducing the newbie, the ultimate in neuromuscular re-education. The newbie can help you heal up to 70% faster and was FDA cleared in September 2017. The newbie uses pulse direct current, which mimics the same neurological signals the brain uses and allows the therapist to identify those signals with 100% accuracy. Newbie can even help improve your sleep while tackling issues with neck, knee, and shoulder pain, sciatica, and arthritis. It can accelerate your fitness progress, which means better results in less sessions. Get stronger quicker. Why not use the same technology that the Dodgers and the LA Clippers use? Focus PT, located on Peachland off Lyons in Newhall. Call 255-4205. Go online at focusphysicaltherapyscv.com.
It's time to experience a pain relief, wellness, and anti-aging treatment unlike any other. It's time to check out Mend Cryotherapy. Relieve chronic joint and muscle pain, diminish soreness and inflammation, alleviate stress-related symptoms, boost immune system performance, and improve sleep and recovery times. Mend Cryotherapy is open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go to Mend, M-E-N-D, cryotherapy.com on Newhall Ranch Road in the Gateway Shopping Center.
No words can describe the power of belonging to a group of close friends or being part of a family. Insight Treatment Center was founded more than 20 years ago to give teenagers a community of friends and family as they overcome issues like depression, anxiety, and trauma. The new Santa Clarita location is a COVID-secure environment where distance and good airflow are a priority. As a leader in providing intensive outpatient treatment to teenagers, Insight Treatment Center in Santa Clarita is here to help. Call 888-295-9995 or go online to insighttreatment.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64?
Welcome back to the Senior Hour. I'm Barbara Cochran with my co-host, Dr. Jean Dorio, on your hometown station, 98.1 FM, AM 1220 KHTS. And we're speaking now with one of our sponsors, Comfort Keepers in Home Care owner Miles McNamara. And what's on the agenda right now, Miles?
Well, one thing I like to talk about every time this part of the year is, I get a lot of questions, of great gift ideas for seniors, and looking for what do I get mom and dad, blah blah blah. Now, of course, if you see a need, if they need, some clothing, blankets, socks, whatever, but the top of the list that I always talk about, and it ties into what we were talking about earlier as far as loneliness and depression and such, is the gift of time. Our seniors don't need any more tchotchkes. They don't necessarily need anything, but think of our busy life. And it's rush, a quick phone call to check in. My suggestion at the top of the list has always been the gift of time. Is set aside a day, a meal, a little bit of a trip, whatever it is. That would be the biggest smile to be put on a senior's face. Is take time out of your busy schedule and give the gift of time. So set aside a day, an hour, whatever you can to spend extra time with your loved ones over the holidays. That's the best gift that I could ever suggest.
Well, the best gift my daughter is giving me is, she said, Mom, I'm retiring early. She said, I want to come down here and stay with you a couple of nights and a couple of days a week. Bingo. I don't like you being alone.
Oh. Yep.
And that's what she's doing. She's retiring early.
That's neat.
It is, isn't it?
You raised a great daughter, Barbara.
Oh, I know. Awesome. She's a sweetheart, and so is my son. They're both fantastic. Fantastic.
We all just need to downshift sometimes and really kind of triage what's important to us. And, it's nice to check in on the phone and what have you. But, you really need to kind of stop and smell the roses and give that gift of time and spend the time with the ones you love when you have the chance to.
Absolutely. It's critical. It really is.
Not only that, I think it's important that when you are spending that time, you are listening. You are listening to your loved one on how their life is going, because you can discover so many concerns that they might be having. Most of the time, they're altruistic. They're giving their efforts, and they're volunteering, and they're doing things. They're active. But sometimes there are concerns that they don't get to talk about to their friends and other family members. So time is important. Listening is important as well.
Yes, and
Well,
telling
another
me
thing,
what to
too,
do is important too. My daughter said, "Mother, do not go out of the house into your car and drive Tuesday," which was yesterday, because
Oh,
of
and
the
the rain.
rain and the danger of being in a
Yeah.
car and driving. She said, "You cancel your appointments and you stay at home." And I did.
One thing I want to get in, though, because I know we're coming to the end of the show, is I want to kind of leave everybody with this. I didn't create it. I stole it. But, you know, when someone's time on Earth is getting ready to end, when was the time you ever heard someone say, "I wish I had spent more time at the office"?
No one.
No one. So take advantage of that now. Spend the time with your loved ones. You'll never hear when someone's time is elapsing here on this planet that they're going to say, "I wish I'd have spent more time at work."
And you know, we have earthquakes. People in the Midwest had tornadoes. You never know. You never know when our time is up. I mean, sometimes as you're aging, you can start to see it, but you just never know from one day to the next. So cherish the moment. You know, especially during the this holiday season. Cherish those moments to be with your loved ones and to listen and talk with them and give them the time, like Miles says. So, Miles, in terms of...
I was just going to say, I'm coming to an end. Unfortunately, I have to take her to the airport tonight. But I've been living that dream this last week. My daughter, who's a captain in the United States Air Force, who's on the other side of the country, she flew in like 5-6 days ago, and I've had the entire last week with her.
Wow.
San Luis Obispo with my other daughter.
Wonderful.
And just hanging with my daughters. And, yeah, so, again, you've really got to just take the time.
And it's family.
That's right.
Yep.
And family is the most important thing in your lives. It really is.
Miles, let me mention the joy for us where we had family members come in this last weekend to celebrate my mom's 100th birthday.
Oh,
my goodness.
But she's, this is what she's wanted, and she wanted family and friends around her. So this is what we all need. This is the time of year. Yeah, we get some rain. Yeah, we get, it gets cold. But, that doesn't change our heart and how we feel about the people around us, our community, and our loved ones. So time and listening and gathering together those moments, I think, is important. How do people get a hold of you, Miles?
Well, we have our website, comfortkeepers.com, but we've been on Alliance for all of these 20 years that we've been in the Valley. So we're 661-287-4200, 287-4200, and like I said, celebrating 20 years on Lyons Avenue and in Santa Clarita, keeping our seniors safe in their own home.
Absolutely, Miles. Thank you so much for being on the show and bringing your services into the home so that they can age in place. And I think our previous guests were doing the same thing. We are all heading in that direction. And I'm proud of Santa Clarita and businesses like yours that are doing this for our seniors. Thank you so much, Miles. We appreciate it.
Absolutely.
We are sponsored by Comfort Keepers In-Home Care and Santa Clarita Hearing Center. Listen to us next week on the Senior Hour. Now go and enhance your quality of life.